I hope you are ready for an absolute fire interview. We got my guy, the one and only, best-selling author, Tyler Ippoliti in the house. What's going on,
Woo!
brother?
The fire is coming. The fire's here.
The fire is here, and like this is going to be both literal and figurative when we talk about fire today. And I know that you talk about this a lot, but you just came out with your book, Trial by Fire, Rising from the Ashes to Find Purpose and Connection in a Chaotic World. And for everybody that's listening here, they're probably already starting to think, okay, what's going on, Jake? You're hyping this up a lot. Let's dig into it.
Hell yeah.
Why did you write a book called Trial by Fire?
Woo! I wrote the book Trial by Fire because it was my experience that I couldn't help write about to try to figure out why in the world I just lived the life I just did. And in writing it, I discovered what it all really meant to me. And the most valuable thing is through all of that, which wouldn't have happened without writing the book, is understanding why the fuck I'm on this planet.
Mm. And why are you on the planet?
To initiate people to find what they're looking for, to help people
Mm.
from A to B, to help them transform and really get to the life and a more soulful life that they're really looking for, even though they might not necessarily call it a more soulful life, a more meaningful life that has the things that they really want in it.
Okay, I love it. I love it. So I want to know, you share on your Instagram, and there's a lot of things that you've experienced in your life. There's a lot of fire that's been a part of your life. Can you tell everybody the story, the background, the almost your own initiation of how you've experienced and gotten to the place you are today?
It was 100% an initiation for me that took place over 5 years or so. The obvious one is the literal fire, being literally burned at the end of that story, which is really does come near the end of the book, is obvious. And that whole healing process, the pain that was involved, the lessons that were involved with that, it's like, duh. Like, of course, a really traumatic experience like that is going to have a profound effect on my life. I'd say the one fire that goes less discussed in the book is really the fire of relationship and love. And that was very much put on display through the pilgrimage that my then girlfriend into fiance and who is now my wife took together, leaving the Bay Area for the first time and traveling the states with this big unknown looming over our head. Where are we going to end up in the future? What's our life going to look like? We did not have a lot of money to do it. We just took a leap of faith. And also, in doing that and leaving our ordinary world, we opened our relationship and kind of fell into polyamory as well, which was the heaviest fiery fires that there could possibly be, relationally speaking. So that was a big fire, the literal fire, and just the fire of re-identifying through all of that who I really am is the bigger initiation and the bigger fire that
Mm,
really forged who I am now.
mm. So there's so many things we can get into. I want to know what prompted you? What was the turning point where you were like, the story needs to be told and the book is the vehicle that I need to do it in? Like, what was that turning point where you're like, I have to get this done and now is the right time?
I mean, I've always, well, not always. I've loved reading for quite a while now. So books have always meant something to me. And then I'd say over the last 5, 7 years, I've really started to enjoy writing. And so it was probably 2 years of actually writing that I got to the point where I was starting to formulate meaning around what it was. And then once I knew the meaning for myself and how important it was for me to understand myself, I knew just based on who I am already that this needs to be shared because this is going to benefit somebody else. And that was last year. And I'd been following you for a little while now. At that point, I think we'd gone maybe back and forth a couple times, and once I solidified the meaning and knowing of what this all meant to me, that's when I reached out. I was like, all right, I need to get serious about this and follow through with actually delivering this to the world, but also proving to myself that I'm serious about who I am now. I'm serious about what I'm here to do.
Mm. Do you feel, and we're going to jump around a little bit, do you feel that now that the book is out, that has solidified how serious you are about what it is that you're doing?
100% solidified. Like, book launch party the other day, dude. Such a ceremony of stepping into who I am now. Author being a big part of that, but it's not just about author. It's about um, somebody who's going to impact the world, and the authority that comes through showing the world that you're going to write a fucking book, you're going to follow through, and you're going to stand by what your story is and what your message is. People look at that and they think, oh, damn, this guy's for real. Like he has something to say. He's going
Mm.
to stand by it. He's going to expose himself. And people respect that a lot.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, every time somebody writes a book, their either belief in themselves increases or their belief in their mission is stronger because now you have the pages that share your story, share your experience, and share your expertise, which often is a bigger purpose for what you're trying to achieve, right?
100%. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I can't wait
Now,
for book number two.
yeah, I can't wait for you to do book two either. No, but like when you were writing this book, and throughout your experience of creating your book, which you did such a great job on, by the way, what was the hardest part for you? Like when you think back to every step of the way, like what was the part that either you had the most hesitation on, or that maybe was the most difficult for you?
Hesitation. I didn't really have much hesitation. I'd say the stickiest points were, and this is not necessarily about the writing of the book as much as just understanding what the whole story meant to me,
Hmm.
which when I'd started writing the book, it was just a couple months after my burn, right? So I was literally in the healing process of my burn while I'd started writing. And at the time, I didn't really know why the writing happened so slowly. But now looking back, I know it was a little bit slow, and there was periods of being really in it and really out because other really important things needed to happen for me in the healing process that put that whole understanding together, which didn't even happen until 2 years after my burn and 2 years after having started written. So more of
Yeah.
my life needed to take place. And then another thing was just the editing. Just that, I'd say that was like the most practical challenging thing of just being like, all right, I'm gonna get back in there, I'm gonna review all this, I'm gonna correct all the things that more are specific to stylistic writing style, or my own writing style and all that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm someone who's a major, like I like to talk, right? I like to talk. Writing is just happens to be the vehicle that books are used in. So
Yeah.
like when I go through every book that I edit, I'm always like, okay, let's break it down. Let's go chapter by chapter, and let's not try to do everything in one take because otherwise I'll lose my mind, right?
Yeah.
Okay, dude. So tell me more though about, let's flip it. What was your favorite part of creating the book and going from this, like, okay, writing process was a little slow because you were still in it, to then getting some momentum and now to the point where you got the book out and you're actually able to start using it. So like, what's been the favorite part of the experience both internally and externally?
Ooh, internally, it's been knowing for myself that I'm doing this, like I'm legitimately doing this. I'm following through with the project because historically I had experiences of not following through with things that were really important to me. And that only really happened once I had the organization and structure from you.
Mm,
Like that wouldn't have happened. The commitment to working with you was also a commitment to
for
myself.
sure.
And so, I say this to my clients when they're investing in themselves with coaching or with training, right? Like it's not about the money or you paying me. It's about you saying to yourself, this is what I'm worth investing in myself about. And then
Mm,
shit gets real and the
yep.
transformation already starts to happen. So say what you want about spending money. It's a real fucking thing and what it means metaphorically. So getting real with starting with you and knowing how it was going to then unfold systematically was super helpful. And I started to get really hyped up about that. I love speaking with the coach that you supported me with. And even the editing itself, every step along the way got more and more exciting because we're getting closer and closer to
Right.
finishing. But then my absolute favorite is this last probably 2 weeks. I mean, with the book launch party and actually getting my hard copies in the mail and sharing that with my family and starting to post about it to the world was huge. I mean, I love physical books. I love holding books. I'm always holding my book, and yeah, that just makes it really real. And then the expansion into the real world with it is certainly been like the most exciting and also vulnerable and challenging piece too, because it's actually real, and now everybody's gonna see me in it. But I love hard shit like that. I love that like big expansion and the resistance that comes with that sometimes.
Well, one of the things that you talk a lot about is this idea of depth and closeness, right? You talk about this a lot in your social. If you go to your Instagram, it's a pinned post. It's a couple of slides on the carousel. Like depth and closeness is something that you talk a lot about. How do you feel that not just this book, but how do you feel that allowing yourself to share your story and your truth and your message with the world is going to allow you to be more deep, more close with the people you want to work with or connect with?
Yeah, I mean, I was literally on a podcast the other day talking about a hollow experience. If I'm not sharing and being vulnerable with my own story and message and my own internal experiences, which is what I share in the book, how could I help anybody else do the same thing, which is what my work is all about? And then when you start to have experiences, which I've had for a long time now, of depth and closeness, when you're really connecting with other people, there's nothing more juicy than that. I mean, that is literally why I'm on this planet, to like
Mm,
forge and bridge those gaps within myself first, because it's not going to happen if I don't do that for me too, but then me and others with each other. So yeah, that's why we're here, in my opinion. I think that um, to lead the way in sharing my truth is
mm.
has to happen, and even if it's scary, I know that that's a part of the process, and I want other people to do the same, so I'm going to keep doing it.
What, for people who are as open as you, right? There's for every person that's open like you, there's someone else who's like so scared to share their truth, right? And you're already starting to inspire people to open up more. But one of the hardest things is when people get to a point of true vulnerability, right? And they open themselves up because when you're opening yourself up, that means you open the door up for positive and criticism. So
Woo.
how do you navigate this in yourself while being a leader, a trendsetter, someone who wants to lead this way because that's what you teach, while also having people make sure that they see you in an authentic way and not that you're just doing it for the sake of trying to be trendy or cool or like seem like you're vulnerable.
Totally, yeah. So I'll give you an example of how I've already noticed that, really. Like when I was reaching out to everybody in the last couple weeks, sharing with them that the book was coming, it was a really beautiful reflection back from my community of how I've showed up for everybody. And so what I did was say, hey, like, here's what's happening for me. I would love your support. And certain people responded triggered. Like they were upset that I was reaching out and asking for support, which showed me that I had actually been some sort of way towards them in the recent past that didn't sit well with them. So that exposure was me doing that thing that we are just discussing. Like I have to put myself out there to then get that feedback from the world. And if I wouldn't have done that, I wouldn't have understood for myself how well I'm showing up or how well I haven't showed up. So it was a good reflection and mirror that way. And then in regards to the whole story in general, I mean, with polyamory, dude, like you're gonna get slashed at. Like, and a lot of the posts that I have already on Instagram talking about these things, people just project onto things that they don't know or are uncomfortable with. And I love seeing that. Like, I love seeing how it lands or doesn't land with people, because that tells me about the world. And that
Mm,
tells me the gap between what I'm living and what the world is understanding. And I'm not going to fight to persuade anybody that doesn't want to be persuaded, but I am going to fight to be in my truth, to show people there are other options than the way that they're already living.
mm.
And if their egos are triggered enough to say, no, 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 great. Tell me more about your experience.
Yeah. So when someone picks up your book and they read it, what do you want them to get out of it, or what do you hope that they walk away with?
Yeah, I want them to walk away knowing that if you want something bad enough, it's not going to just fall in your lap. You have to explore life. You have to break away from the comfort that is your conditioning. And when you do, there will be a lot of uncomfortable things. There's going to be pain, there will be suffering, and that is what all growth is. But if
Mm,
you try to grow consciousness through that and learn from that, and understand that it's all happening for you to teach you something, more likely than not, on the other side of that journey, you will find the thing that you were looking for originally, even though it didn't land in your lap how you were intending on it.
mm.
So get
Yeah.
out there, explore, understand that pain is part of the process, and just trust that you're going to find it.
Mm. And I mean, as someone that hosts retreats and as someone who does coaching and helps people with this, like, let's get some practical tips to help people rise from their own ashes, right?
Oh yeah.
What are some of the things that you recommend? Maybe it's non-negotiables. Maybe it's things that if somebody's down, you have a couple things that you would give tips on. Like, what are some of the things that you would suggest people do if they're trying to kind of get to that next level in their life?
It all starts with a question. I think everything has to start with a question. So the question, and I didn't even plan this, I literally have this question right here as a reminder for myself. If nothing were to change right now, would I be okay staying right here? And
Mm.
if that's not a visceral yes, then you continue looking. And then from there on, um, I would say that the practical thing that you can do is choose the modality, which I can go over a million modalities, but choose the modality, the thing, the practice, the route, the journey that you think is going to be exciting in some way, but there's still fear. So
Mm.
it's this titration and threshold of I know I want to go there and there's still a lot of fear. That's where you should go. That indicator of having both sides of that coin is usually a good indicator of where to go. And the point I need to reinforce is that that journey, it's not just pleasure. Like it's not the oh, I want to go there because it sounds really good. It's I know I need to go there and
Mm.
it could be amazing, like choosing to be an author. Like I know I want to do that, but I know it's going to be hard. That's the route. Like that fear is the indicator that you should probably go there because that inkling of oh that feels like exciting to me is where you should go.
So interesting that you say that because I think about whenever I have like this feeling of doing something bigger, right? I
Mhm.
always if it doesn't scare me or doesn't feel challenging, then I know it's not really the thing that I need to be doing. So I'll give you an example of this, of how this happened to me right after my wedding. So after my wedding, I was like, okay, I want to dial in this year. I want to grow the business. And I also want to like lock in like health wise. Like most people get like super in shape before their wedding. And I was just like enjoying life, having the greatest time. And then after my wedding, I was like, you know what? Like, let's dial this shit in a little bit, right? Like, let's have some fun. Let's get back into like a routine
That's
of real
so the
life.
opposite of every. That's the opposite of everybody.
Right, but I was just like I wanted to enjoy everything, and I really celebrated it. And then we went on the honeymoon, and eating and drinking away. And I was like, all right, like now that we're done, it's also the end of the year, and I was like coming up on our birthdays, and I was like, all right, let's do this thing. But the thing for me was the growing the business. Like I'm gonna do that either way. There wasn't anything on that front at that moment that I was like, oh, I'm like gotta stretch myself to do it. Like I'll do what it takes. But the minute it came to like, oh, I got to give up candy, or oh, I need to change like eating a little bit differently, then I was like, that's the part that feels a little bit different. That I know that's the harder thing, which means it's the thing I need to pursue first.
Yeah.
And so that it sounds like it's really what you're talking about when you ask yourself when you feel that feeling is like if you know that it's not a direct path, even if you know the steps to get there, but you know it's going to require something different in you, then that's often the thing you should pursue to do next.
Yeah, I mean, almost always the things worth doing are not easy. That's my belief. Some really spiritual woo-woo people might be like, "Oh, it can be easy. It can." I don't know if I agree with that. I just don't.
Do you think things can be simple but not easy?
I think simplicity is great. Yeah, I think things can really be simple. We make them more complicated than they need to be. Like when you think about nutrition, and candy, right? Like when you like you already know, everybody already knows what's good and bad for them, right? So just take that knowing and understanding and apply it to one thing, which is sweets. That's pretty simple, right? Like eliminate the sweets here or eliminate the sweets after dinner. Like that's very fucking simple, logically speaking. But what's not simple is the emotional component behind that. And this is where I get into like real inner child work coaching or shadow work coaching is that there's an emotional attachment behind what candy meant to you, Jake. So
Hmm.
candy was the sweetness in life that you were looking for, just to project onto you a little bit further, that you might not be getting somewhere else. Or maybe your mom really liked to eat candy and you have this attachment to your mom and the sweetness that she used to bring into your life, but you no longer have right now because she's not around. So when you go deeper into things like that,
Yep.
maybe it's not simple, but it's really important.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, I want to talk about the launch party, dude. I want to talk about your launch party. Like
Oh,
your eyes lit
dude.
up. Your eyes lit up when you talked about it earlier. So everybody who launches a book has unlimited choices of how you can do it, right? And you had a launch party and you wanted to curate an experience. Talk to us about how you did the launch party, what you did for it, and what made it feel so special to do it your own way.
Yeah, when first considering how to do the launch party, I'm like, I've never run a book launch party before. What do people do for a book launch party? I mean, it could be whatever I want. And just knowing who I am, I'm gonna have to take it to a deeper place, which is, of course, what I did. And the cool thing is here in North Carolina, where we are, we have a space downstairs, which is typically ran as an Airbnb space. It's called the Tribal Oasis. And it's basically a wellness spa Airbnb. So we got a sauna, we got the hot tub, the cold plunge, the like eco-friendly everything, and it's really set up as a communal spot where a lot of my friends get together, fire pit overlooking a lake with the woods. Like it's divine. So I invited my crew. It was all the closest people that I have here in Charlotte that are my ride or dies basically, and I knew that whatever I was going to lead them through or have was going to be exactly what they were signing up for. So yeah, food, fire, and the people that I love is the context in the space that is safe and natural. But then from there, what I really perceived the book party as was this platform, this diving board for me into the pool, which is authorship, and even bigger, this new identity of Tyler the initiator, Tyler the leader. And so I sat down and I wrote out a speech. I delivered the speech. I cried in the speech, like it was, and everybody listened with their hearts open, and it was perfect. And it was me declaring exactly what all of this meant to me.
Mm.
And then after that, I had a fire ceremony naturally. So you might not recall, Jake, but I used to have this pair of shorts on my wall over here. And the shorts were the shorts that I was wearing the night that I got burned. And these shorts didn't burn at all. Thank God, J. Crew. So everything that my shorts were covering ended up being safe and not burned. So I saved these shorts, even though they were cut off me that night. They were all shredded up and stuff. So I was signing books for everybody, and as I was signing books and writing notes in the book to everybody, I cut a piece of these shorts and I gave
Mm.
them a piece of the shorts. And they didn't know. They were like, "Is this a bookmark?" And I was like, "No, no, no, wait." And then at the very end of the book launch party, we circled around the fire, and I said, "This is who I was. This is the victim that experienced this thing. This is the guy that didn't know where he was going in life. This is the boy. And today, we're going to burn that shit up. We're going to burn that identity up. You're all going to help me do it, but you're all going to understand that my story is here to inspire whatever your story is. You have your own fire. You've been burned in your own way. And whatever this garment means to you, you burn that shit up in the fire with me because I'm letting go of
Mm.
that old piece of me, and you're going to do the same thing for yourself. And we threw that into the fire, and immediately after, everybody swarmed to me. You might have seen the Instagram video, but everybody flocked around me, and I just bawled. Like I just fucking bawled. Like I my legs gave way. I let everybody hold my body up, and I'm a pretty big guy. And they did. They held me. They held me in the catharsis of letting go of that and the stepping into who I am now. And it was
Mm.
the most beautiful ceremony I could have imagined.
It sounds great. It sounds great. Why, like, what made you feel that the book release, the book launch, was significant enough to warrant burning those shorts and moving on to the next phase? Like, why did the book feel such a big deal for you in that moment?
It was the tangible piece of my new identity.
Mm.
Yeah, it was like literally here I am now. This is what I am now. This is who I am now. These shorts is who I was. So as the
Mm.
book gets literally handed to my community, I'm saying you're helping me let go of all that other shit. And here I am as this new person in your hands now. Check it out.
That's sweet. That's sweet. I I've done exercises similarly, but obviously in different moments of life and different meanings. And there's so much power when you release something, right? Whatever it is, however you choose to do it, there's a lot of power in that. And so I love that the book, and I love how you described the book being the tangible element to showcase the new identity being that moment. And so you have the launch party. It's an emotional experience, and then you go straight into the launch. All right. Tell the people what the launch has been like for you. You know, we're pretty fresh on it. We're recording this during the launch week, just a few days in.
Yeah.
But what have these first few days been like? What was the feeling when you hit bestseller status? Like, tell us a little more about that experience for you as you embark on your first week in this new identity.
Yeah. I want to rewind just a little bit because it wouldn't do what this week has meant to me any justice. So, my belief about life is that, I mean, this is all exciting, right? Like, we're talking about the hype and all that. Life will always deliver to you all sides of the spectrum, dark and light, excitement and grief. And 3 days before the book launch party, my uncle died,
Mm.
and I was just in California visiting him, and he was a really meaningful person to me. So coming into the book launch party and the launch, I'm holding grief, but I'm holding excitement. And this has been such a fucking big lesson for me lately that I can't just expect all of the good all the time, but I actually get to enjoy the fact that life is delivering to me all of it. All of it right now, all of it all the time, and it all gets to be really beautiful. And so I carried that into the experience. I carried really the gravitas behind what life is in that moment into it. And I really think that's why the book launch party happened the way that it did. And I think the success of the actual launch on launch day happened exactly because of that, because I'm able to hold the whole range of what life was. And going into that day, I knew I was going to work my ass off to reach out to everybody, but I didn't have expectations because I know life is going to do whatever it's going to do. Like, everything I've been up until this point is going to determine how this goes. And if I get feedback, which is nobody buys the book, great. I'm going to learn from that. And that's going to be okay too. And with book number two, I'm going to apply the lessons that I've learned. Now, turns out I've been a pretty decent guy and some people like me. So it did go well. And so in those days, I wasn't tired at all. Like, I had every excuse to be tired through the weekend, and I was just so hyped to share this this new piece of me, this birthing of this what I feel is actually a gift. And if I didn't believe in myself, if I didn't believe in my message, it probably wouldn't feel that way. But I know that this story is going to serve people. So I'm really approaching every conversation, every reach out as a place of mutual exchange. I'm saying, hey, I need your support. I want your support, but I really fucking believe that this story is going to serve you. Trust me in that. Are you willing to support me? And the
Mm.
feedback from everybody was divine. And that's exactly why I reached number one bestseller in three different categories.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. I didn't know that first part. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
As you look ahead, all right, what's in store for you as the initiator, as the leader, and as the best-selling author?
Yo, this is just the beginning, Jake. It's
That's what
just
I that's what it's all about.
it's just the beginning. Um, yeah, so trial by fire is the myth, right? It's the archetypal journey which birthed who I am now, which who I am now has a way of serving people. And so that way of serving people is what's next. And that's through
Mhm.
rites of fire. I'll get into that a little bit further, but you've heard me say, Tyler, the initiator. Initiation is the process. It doesn't need to be called initiation. It's basically transformation through whatever life is going to fucking throw at you. So I'm going to step on every stage possible. I know you like speaking. I'm looking to get into speaking. I want to speak more, and I want to inspire people. I want to share my story, but I also want to lead people through those experiences in the dirt, in the fire, in wherever we are too.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm stepping up onto a bigger stage. I cannot submit, which you probably understand this. I'm not submitting to a small life. It's just not going to happen. So the fire is going to get bigger. There's going to be bigger stages. There's going to be more messages, more stories, and more people that I get to impact.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Yeah, the book makes a lot of that stuff not just believable that you could do it, but it makes it much easier too. You know,
It does.
like a few months ago, you're not an author, and then now you're a best-selling author that has a Times Square billboard. Like people are going to just naturally look at you in a slightly different way than
Yeah.
they did prior. And the key as you embark on this adventure is to lean into it, right? It's to own that. It's you put in all this effort. You've gone through everything you've gone through to get to the place you're in today, and a book should be able to make that a lot easier, right? And I always tell people, I'm like, look, I wrote a career development book with 1 year of career experience at 23 years old, and I was able to get paid speaking gigs and travel the country as a motivational speaker. So the fact that you and everyone who's listening probably has more than 1 year of experience on whatever topic they're talking about,
Hmm.
you can and will use a book to have great success. All right. And so when you go into the speaking world, you want to start by identifying like what's that first market that you're really trying to serve. And as you find that first market, then it's evaluated, okay, well, what are the shows? What are the events? What are the retreats? What are the conferences? Make your lists. And then you begin the outreach by giving the book to all of those people who lead those groups. And that's a way, continuing what you said about the mutual exchange, right? That's the way that you're able to break in and navigate that. And it's going back to what we talked about. Like it is simple. It's not easy, but it's simple, right? The path here is simple. And so the question you get to ask yourself, right? And the question that everybody who's listening gets to ask themselves is, are you willing to do what it takes to live the identity of the person you believe you're capable of becoming?
That's why literally on that board over there, I have written business as my new initiation.
Mm,
That's the fire, the expansion of the back end and what it really takes to be able to deliver the message. For the last 11 what I don't know how old I am. 11 years I've been forging all of the modalities, all of the people skills, building the authority through my journey, but now it's like what work am I going to put in? What discomfort am I going to work through to deliver it? Because if you're not going to fucking deliver it, it just lives with you.
yeah,
Why? I mean, I want to help people. You want to help people. Like you want to deliver your message. And I know
100%.
that in everybody, somebody, or I'd say everybody does want to do that to some degree, but it's scary.
Yeah. So as we get ready to kind of wrap up here, man, this has been great. I appreciate you coming on and sharing your message with us. But I know there's so much more in the book. All right. And that's something I want everyone to make sure they grab a copy, Trial by Fire. And as we kind of get ready to wrap up here, how do we follow you? How do we bring you into speak? How do we learn more about everything that you're working on?
Yeah. So the handles are simple. The website is simple. It's tylerwayneapology.com at Tyler Wayne Apology on Instagram. Everything basically funnels into what I'm creating. I have a cohort coming up in September. It's called Trial by Truth. And that's going to be my first virtual cohort that lays out the methodology, which is Rites of Fire. And that methodology is all the teachings, the learnings that I got through my experience of the book, which is very much what number two will be about. And then after Trial by Truth will be the Rites of Fire retreats. So go into all the things that I've laid out for you as far as the platforms goes. You'll see everything about that. But as far as other offerings or other avenues, just keep your eyes open because I'm gonna find you.
There we go. There we go. And for you, because you're speaking more, because you've stepped in this identity, and you got me a little fired up right now. Someone's
Ooh,
listening
I'm
here.
sorry. Did you say fired up?
I did a little bit. If somebody's listening to this, what's the one thing you want them to do right after this that if they do it, it'll make the biggest possible impact on themselves?
Well, there's a couple different ways I'm going to go with this. Selfishly, I'm going to say the freebie at the front of my book, it's called Initiation Hour. It's literally 60 minutes to wake your ass up to your own bullshit. That's literally what it's called. Is 60 minutes to break through your bullshit. And
Mm,
it will be very confronting. And so confronting meaning you're going to have to look at yourself. So there's some big questions there. There's a few practices which are based on my methodology that are going to have you sit in your own shit and have to look at it. So there's going to be discomfort in that. And I guarantee you on the other side of that 60 minutes, which if you can't commit to 60 minutes of looking at yourself like that and putting yourself through something difficult, good luck with life, people. Aside from that, if you don't want to do that, um, there is something that you're not wanting to look at about your life right now. And just me saying that right now, the thing probably popped up in your head, right, Jake? That thing that you don't want to look at right now in your life is where you need to look. And you get to ask yourself, what do I not want to see about this?
Mm.
The next question is, what does that mean about me? And then if you answer those questions, some shit's going to pop off.
Yeah, there you go. So we normally finish every episode with a challenge, where I take something from the interview and I give everyone the action item of doing the challenge. But I don't even think I need to add the challenge today. I think what you just said, that's the challenge today. And I'll add one more piece. Buy the book, download the free gift that you provide for everybody as so generous. And then from there, ask yourself the questions. That's the challenge. I don't need to create something new. That'll get shit done. That'll get people thinking. That'll get people reflecting, and that'll get people in a different headspace.
By
So
the
there
way,
you
Jake,
have it.
if you haven't done it yet, I'm coming for your ass. You better get in there and do initiation hour.
Initiation hour. It's an up leveled version of happy hour, right?
Kind of.
Just
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah.
But there we have it, man. Tyler, thanks for coming on the show. This has been awesome. It's been an absolute privilege to see your evolution within the book process, and to see where you are today from when we first had conversations a little while before you started the book. So kudos to you, man, for honoring your commitment to yourself, for stepping into that new place and just making some magic happen. So great job, brother.
Yeah, thank you. And I just want to say thank you to you for real because it wouldn't have happened without you and without your team. And although we're talking about books, you are delivering much more than a book. You are delivering people's stories and therefore people's magic.
Mm.
And so you're a conduit to the rest of the world receiving other people's magic. And the more magic we get to spread via your skill set, the better this world's going to be. So I hope you realize that.
Appreciate it, brother. There you have it, you guys. Another great episode. We'll see you on the next one.